Hi everyone. Today I wanted to update you guys on my general progress for GoblinBlitz in the past couple weeks, and I also wanted to focus on what I'm planning on doing going forward into the summer, because I know I'll have a lot more time to work on my game, and I want to make sure you guys know what I'm planning going forward so that you can stay updated and be ready for my next couple videos and hopefully an eventual launch of the game. First up, I gotta talk about the starter decks. They're my main goal right now since I really want to get people playing the game, and starter decks are just the best way to do that. Starting with the art, right now I have 16 out of 22 artworks done for the Rebel deck and 16 out of 21 for the Regime deck. And the main thing here is that I need to focus on getting started on the legendary monsters. There's 4 in the Rebel deck and an additional 1 in the Regime deck. And that's honestly the main thing holding me back right now, because the legendaries are very important characters and they're also some of the strongest cards in the deck. So I haven't been tackling them recently because I know I want to take a step back and really focus on those and make sure that they look really good. As for the regular artworks, I'm making pretty good progress on those. Only thing is there are maybe 1 or 2 card arts that I may want to redo. Other stuff, I need to do more playtesting. As you guys know, that's definitely one of the most important parts about game design, probably the most important part. And GoblinBlitz still needs a lot of that. I mean, I've pretty much finalized the rules at this point, at least I hope. Check out my last video if you want to see what a full playtest looks like. But in terms of balancing cards and small tweaks and stats and abilities and just the overall composition of the 2 starter decks, I want to make sure that those are really good. I need those to be solid before I release them, because theoretically these are the foundation of the game, you know? This is supposed to be people's first introduction to playing the game. Alright, I also wanted to give you guys a quick look at some of the artwork that I've been doing recently for the TCG. I know I've given some glimpses of it in other videos, and maybe you saw some of them on the cards in the playtest video, but I think it'd just be cool to give you guys a bit of a closer look if I can get my sketchbook open here. I'm going to start with this page because I think these are some of the more recent ones that I maybe haven't talked about as much in videos. So I'm just going to go through quickly, talk about each of the ones, what card it's for, and what my sort of thought process was when I was making the art. Right up here we have one of my favorites. We have Clay Golem. This one is in the Regime starter deck, and it's a pretty solid defender right now. It's a basic card with just high defense and low attack. Sort of stave off some early pressure. That's its main role in that deck. Next up, we've got another pretty iconic card, Clothorn Bull from the Rebel deck. Every time I've played the game with one of my friends, this is always one of their favorite cards because it has a really fun ability where when you move it forward, it can deal more damage when it attacks a monster. And that works really well with other cards like Goblin Slide or just anything that allows you to move your cards forward. And I think honestly, the movement is probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the game. So having an attacker that plays into that definitely helps. As for the story attached to these cards, they are a big food source for the goblins, and they also use their hide to make clothing. So they're definitely an important animal in the world of GoblinBlitz. Moving down to these 2. This one's interesting. I'm actually going to get to that in a second, so I'll talk about this one first. I actually don't remember if I've made the card for this yet. This one was just something I drew for fun, but I wanted to include it in the game at some point. I don't think it's going to be in either of the starter decks at this point, but it's definitely going to be something with a flying ability, which is one of my favorite abilities for cards to have. So far there's only Messenger Rock, and I definitely wanted to expand on that. Alright, now for this one. This one isn't actually going to be a GoblinBlitz card. It's actually an artwork I did for Legends of Elarth, who's another TCG creator, and you should check him out. I think he just launched his YouTube channel a couple of days ago. He has a really cool TCG. The art in his game is amazing. We did an art swap. I think I talked about that in a video before. But yeah, this is the one that I designed for his game. Really excited for him to use that. And I'm also super hyped about including his art in my TCG. Unfortunately, that one is not going to come out until later with set 1, just like this one. But yeah, it was really cool. You should check him out. I believe this one's called Forest Falcon or something. I'm not sure what the official name of the card is in his game, but yeah. Right here are some tactics cards. I needed to finish up the art for a lot of the tactics, so just did this page to work on some of those. We have Hazemite Flu, which is the attachment card in the Regime deck. I decided to make an attachment for both decks to sort of show off the card type. We've also got Hold Hostage, which is a pretty powerful removal card. You play it on one of your monsters. It's a monster attack, and the user captures the target monster until it leaves the battlefield. So basically you can kind of temporarily remove one of your opponent's monsters, or if you watch the playtest, you can almost permanently remove them if that monster sticks around. So it's a really interesting card. You sort of have to be able to protect whatever monster is capturing your opponents, so that they don't get it back, but it can be really interesting when you can pull it off. Here we have Rebel Banner, I believe it's called. I actually don't quite remember. I can never remember the names for my own cards, which is kind of bad. But this is the attachment card for the Rebel deck, and it was me like sort of experimenting with the attachment cards. I believe it was actually no, I think I made Hazemite Flu first, but it was the second attachment card I made. And it attaches to a monster and gives them Underdog, which allows them to deal double damage when they're attacking a monster with greater remaining HP. I thought that kind of fit with the Rebel theme, and I think it's a pretty interesting ability. I haven't actually seen anyone use it in a playtest yet. I have to try that out. But yeah, this I think could be quite strong in the right scenario. And I like the art for it. The flag here features a logo based on a Grumpkin, and the Rebels chose that because the Grumpkins were actually successful at escaping from the regime. They were initially experimented on by the regime, which is why they turned monstrous. Initially they were still living pumpkins, but they weren't as malicious as they were before. But using their hive minds, they were able to coordinate a rebellion and escape from the regime's testing facility. And that story was passed down through the Rebel network, essentially, and eventually they decided to use it as part of their flag because it sort of represents their message and their movement. Here we have, I believe this is a collective attack. Yeah, this is just a removal card for the Rebels. As you can see, just a little scene of Rebels taking down a mutant that attacked their village. So I thought that was a pretty fitting artwork for the card. I think I just have one more recent artwork to show you guys. Actually, no, there's two. Forgot. Actually, I'm gonna skip to this one, so I want to talk about it. Alright, so as I was saying, this is the artwork for the card Soldier's Shield, which has been in the Rebel deck pretty much ever since I designed it. I think it was one of the first cards in the deck. And it basically counters a monster attack for 1 cost, which I thought about nerfing a couple of times, but in practice I feel like it actually hasn't been quite as broken as I expected it to be, since you do have to keep up that 1 resource in order to play it. And the Rebel deck especially likes to play a lot of monsters, so they don't necessarily want to wait to prevent one of their things from being attacked. And also, like, if you're using it on a basic attack, like just a monster attacking a monster, like that can usually be repeated just in the next turn, so it doesn't seem like it's too broken. I don't know, I may still need to nerf it, but anyways. I thought it'd be cool to do sort of like a shadowy, like blacked out sort of artwork for this one. So I went with this. I thought it looked cool with the Rebels' eyes sort of glowing as they throw up the shield to block the attack. I saved the best for last. We have another collab here of sorts. This one is a drawing I did based off of another TCG creator's character. They're called Palmia TCG, and this is based off of their character Magnet Man. But basically they created this character for their TCG, and they offered it up for anybody else to include in their game to do their own rendition of it. And of course I had to make one. So here we have Magnet Golem, which is based off of Magnet Man. I felt like, like if it was going to be named Magnet Man, it would sort of have to be like a legendary, and I wasn't quite sure how to work that into like the story for my game. So I just decided to incorporate it this way as like a more of just a monster based off of Magnet Man, which is the Magnet Golem here. I imagine their bodies are just magnetic, so I was thinking like as they walk through a battlefield, they just absorb all the weapons to them. And it doesn't hurt them, it just sticks to their backs like a magnet. So yeah, that was my take on Magnet Man from Pomia. I'm not sure if they have a YouTube channel. I'll link it if they do. But yeah, you should definitely check them out if they do have a channel. Alright, that was about it for today's update. The next video I make will probably be more about the playtest decks. Once I'm a little bit closer to finishing those, I'll probably make a video once I've printed out a new version of that with the updated cards and everything. Probably show you guys some more artwork and all that stuff. You should definitely go check out Legends of HTCG to see some more information about his game. You might even get to see the full card of the artwork that I made, which would be really cool. And that's about it for today. Thank you for watching.